No one wants to lose a sizable portion of their income by paying taxes, but there's no way around it, right? Well, not quite. There are tax havens all around the world where rich people can go to avoid all the hefty taxes they may have to pay where they're from, and they get away with it. In this video, we'll take a closer look at 15 places where the rich avoid taxes. Number 1. Panama. Normally, with tax havens, you don't really see much news about people that have been using the area to make the most out of the money they're earning. Thousands of people did the same thing by using Panama. That's because Panama is one of the best countries one could move to if they wanted to save every little penny. How well? Panama is one of the few countries in the world that imposes zero taxes on offshore companies. They can go all out doing business in other companies while being based in Panama, and as long as the business isn't being run inside the country, there's no taxes to be paid. And not only that, but even the people running the company are exempt. They don't have to pay corporate taxes, regular withholding taxes, income taxes, capital gains tax, general local taxes, and even estate or inheritance taxes. So everything they earn and everything they own is theirs to keep. Panama has been so popular for people that avoided taxes throughout history that in 2016 a law firm was raided by the police, and in that raid, they found documents that were later called the Panama Papers. In those documents was information on hundreds upon hundreds of influential people from all over the world who are using tax havens around the world for legal and illegal purposes. And if that doesn't prove that a country is a massive tax haven on its own, we don't know what would. Number 2. The United Arab Emirates. The UAE is one of the most popular places in the world for rich people. Folks from all over the world flock to the UAE to set up their own home base. But have you ever wondered why they do that? Well, it's because it's so easy not to pay taxes there. For starters, you've got a lot of free trade zones that you can take advantage of. With them, you can easily and legally trade without having to pay anything to the government. The areas and industries that do require taxes are usually taxed at such a low rate they're still more attractive than most people's home countries. That, paired with the fact that there are several secrecy facilities that will help anyone save on their taxes for the right price, makes the UAE one of the top tax havens in the world. Number 3. The United Kingdom. Now, the UK might not be the first place that comes to your mind in terms of tax-free living, but when you actually get there, you'd realize just how much the area helps out the rich. For starters, the UK governs some of the world's other safe havens very successfully and took a lot of the world's riches back with them too, so it's not that surprising that deep down it's still working the way that benefits the richest of the world. While most of the other safe havens only account for under 1% of the world's offshore companies, the UK is home to 16%. Not all of them are here to take advantage of the country's lack of financial regulations. Some are legit businesses, but with a number that massive, thousands of people that just want to live off all their riches squeeze right in. Number 4. Taiwan. Taiwan is usually in the news for its long-standing battle with China over its own freedom. Taiwan is usually unnoticed as a tax haven, but it's still a pretty massive one nonetheless. It's basically called the Switzerland of Asia, and we'll get to the Switzerland part of things a little bit later. Taiwan is popular because it is all nice and safe for the people who live there. It is easy to live there too, with lots of financial benefits. The government doesn't tax foreigners at all, and it is not a signatory to the Common Reporting Standard, CRS, so it doesn't have to report the financial dealings that go on in the country. It is secretive by default. Number 5. Singapore is known to the world as one of the best places to live. It has great people, the entire country is small, the general laws make it fairly safe, and there is every amenity you can think of. However, one of the main reasons people flock to the country is because it is known as the grandfather of tax havens. While it doesn't seem true at first glance, most countries have a 0% income tax, but Singapore's corporate income tax rate is flat at 17%. However, there are many tax exemptions that keep people's pockets full of tax-free money. Whether it's startup tax exemptions or random tax breaks, there is a lot of room to save on taxes. Additionally, The laws that allow financial institution records to stay private mean that no one can really delve into the details of an individual's finances. All that matters is the money they keep in their accounts, how they get it, and where it comes from. As long as you aren't breaking any laws in Singapore, you'll be just fine. Number 6. Luxembourg is often thought of as a place where tax havens are just shady little islands that nobody really goes to, but that's not the case. It is one of the wealthiest countries in Europe, and a significant chunk of its GDP, around 35%, comes from its financial sector. Despite this, there are many tax loopholes and business-friendly policies that make it cheaper to set up an offshore account there. The banks are all about secrecy, so as long as you keep making payments, they won't say anything to anyone. No one really comes asking for answers either. Number 7. Bermuda might be famous for the Bermuda Triangle, but taxes also go missing there. Although Bermuda is an expensive island to live on, it has a 0% tax rate and there is no income tax whatsoever. As a result, 1/4 of the Fortune 500 companies have at least one account there, including major names like Nike. With this, they can keep every penny they earn without paying a single dollar in taxes. Number 8. The Netherlands is known for being an amazing, peaceful place where you can have a good time even if you're doing nothing. Add to that the fact that you can get away with avoiding taxes, and you've got the full package. Despite being a small country, New York is 3 times its size. It is at the top of the world's list for incoming foreign direct investments. The Dutch fiscal policies are structured in a way that there are no real taxes on international capital flows. As a result, many companies register in the Netherlands without having any presence there, and the money goes there tax-free. They can use it wherever and however they want, without anyone asking any questions. And, with great weather all year round, it's the perfect place to base your company. Number 9. Mauritius may be popular for its crystal blue waters and as a honeymooner's dream, but in addition to reality is that there is a lot more to it than just the fact that business owners based in these countries do not have to pay any taxes whatsoever on their capital gains. Even the taxes they do pay, such as income taxes, are so low that they are virtually non-existent, and these individuals end up receiving tax breaks while enjoying their time in the country. These countries aren't just tax havens. They are so beautiful that you will feel like you're in actual heaven. Number 10. Malta. Remember the Panama Papers we mentioned at the start of the video? Well, one of the countries that kept popping up in those papers was Malta. It is so crazy there that it is commonly known as Europe's pirate base for taxes. Even though the country isn't legally considered a tax haven, there are just so many benefits one can receive by basing their accounts there that it ends up becoming an organic tax haven. Malta imposes very low taxes on foreign companies. Throughout history, people have flocked to the region so they can still be in the EU without having to pay the traditional EU taxes. To make things more clear, a regular domestic business pays around 35% in taxes, while a foreign company pays under 5%. Number 11. Seychelles. There are 2 types of tax havens. Those that are secretive about being one and allowing individuals to take advantage of loopholes to avoid paying taxes or paying very low taxes, and then there are those that are open about it. Seychelles is the latter. They are very open about the fact that they want businesses to come in and set up shop there, and they will fully accommodate them, as long as the company is not conducting any business inside the borders of the island. They can get away with paying $0 in taxes, including not only income tax, but also capital gains tax, dividends, interest, inheritance, and property taxes. Just base your operations outside of the island and all of your money is yours to keep. Number 12. Canada. Oh, Canada, the land of nice people, stories, thank yous, and unexpectedly tax-free income. This might not seem right at first, given the taxes paid by individuals in the country, but loopholes are always ready to help out the super wealthy. One of the biggest ways Canada becomes a tax haven is through its non-double taxation treaty with Barbados. People with accounts in Barbados can transfer their money to Canadian banks without being charged anything on that income. In theory, they would be taxed in Barbados, so it's not fair to pay tax twice. However, The companies with their accounts in Barbados only pay around 1 to 2.5% in taxes, so they pretty much have all their money intact. So, they use the treaty to legally move all of their untouched money to Canada, and from there, it can go wherever they want without having to worry about anyone taking a cut. Sneaky little tax haven with a great reputation. Number 13. Cayman Islands. While most countries strive to grow their domestic economies, the Cayman Islands go above and beyond to bring in more and more foreign investments. To give you an idea, the foreign assets in the country are worth 1,500 times more than the assets owned by the entire domestic economy. They do this by being extremely secretive about the accounts based there, so the ultra-rich don't get into trouble by having as much money as they want in their accounts there. Plus, there's no corporate tax, zero investment taxes on interests, and even inheritance tax. Because of all this, a lot of the world's hedge funds are based in the Cayman Islands, and all of that money is totally tax-free. Number 14. Thailand. Thailand might be known for being one of the best travel destinations in the world, but it is also an amazing place for the wealthy who want to maintain their wealth. For starters, they have double tax treaties, similar to Canada's treaty with Barbados, but instead of just one country, they have this treaty with 61 countries. All companies have to do is keep their money in another country for a year after it is earned and then bring it back to Thailand and pay absolutely nothing on it. This way, the money is not directly coming into the country and is totally tax-free. Number 15. Switzerland. Now, let's move on to the country that first made tax havens a reality, Switzerland. It still uses the 1934 banking secrecy laws that were set up during that time to help people move their money around without being noticed. Switzerland did not just suddenly become the grandfather of all tax havens. It achieved this status by being a tax haven since its grandfather's time. Even though they are trying to phase out the image, a significant part of their economy is still reliant on foreign investments. One of the biggest reasons for its success as a tax haven is its extremely low, or sometimes even zero, taxes on companies and individuals. So, even if you are just super rich and don't have a company, you can still avoid taxes by having your accounts in Switzerland, making it even easier for the wealthiest people in the world to avoid paying taxes. Qatar is also a country where not just the rich, but anyone, could potentially go and avoid taxes because they have a 0% personal income tax rate and any money earned from outside the country is completely tax-free. Although it can be a little tricky to get a visa to live there permanently, if you can get there, you wouldn't have to pay a penny in taxes, just like the super rich. Thank you for spending some time with us today. We appreciate each and every one of you. If you found the video informative, don't forget to like and subscribe to Financial Literacy. I appreciate you viewing, and I'll see you in the next one.